Every single time you stream a movie, check your bank account online, or even fire up a video game, there's this hidden language working completely behind the scenes. We're going to pull back the curtain on this invisible world that honestly powers pretty much everything we do digitally.
So let me ask you a question. Video games, online banking, and literal space missions. What on earth could those three things possibly have in common? I mean, they feel like they're from completely different universes, right? But believe it or not, they all share one single, absolutely critical foundation that makes them work.
And the answer is a kind of universal translator for data. It's a process that takes all the complex information from one place, packages it up nice and neat, and sends it off so another system can understand it. And it doesn't matter if that other system is across the globe or, across the solar system. Okay, so this hidden language, this universal translator, it's time we give it its proper name. In the world of software development, this process is called serialization.
The best way to picture this is to think about packing a suitcase for a trip. You've got all your stuff, your clothes, your shoes, they're all in different shapes and sizes. You can't just toss them on the plane as is. You have to fold them, organize them, and pack them into one single transportable object, the suitcase. Well, that's serialization. And then, when you get to your destination, you open it up and take everything out, putting it back into its original, useful state. That part? That's deserialization. Simple as that.
But here's where things get a little hairy. Sticking with that suitcase analogy, what if someone slips something malicious into your bag when you're not looking? Because when the data that's being unpacked isn't trusted, this simple translation process can suddenly become a massive security threat.
And I'm not talking about some theoretical problem here. This is exactly what caused the infamous Equifax breach in 2017. Remember that? The personal data of nearly 150 million people was exposed. The attackers sent a malicious suitcase of data, and Equifax's system just unpacked it. No questions asked. And just like that, the hackers had full control.
And the cybersecurity world takes this incredibly seriously. There's a group called the Open Web Application Security Project, or OWASP, and they consistently rank insecure deserialization as one of their top 10 most critical risks out there. It's a huge, known danger.
And as you can see here, Equifax wasn't just a fluke. It's a pattern that just keeps repeating. I mean, just get this list. From Java-based systems to .NET applications, attackers have used this exact same type of flaw over and over again to run their own code. It really shows how persistent and dangerous this vulnerability is.
So why does this keep happening if everyone knows about it? Well, a big part of the answer lies in a fundamental dilemma that developers have to deal with every single day, choosing between different data formats.
You've basically got two main languages for this serialization process. On one side, you have text-based formats like JSON. The big plus? Humans can actually read it, which makes it way easier for developers to debug. But the downside is that it's often kind of bulky and slow. On the other side, you have binary formats. For a machine, these are a dream. They're super efficient, compact, and lightning fast. The catch? For a human, it just looks like a wall of nonsense.
Honestly, this one comment from a developer on Reddit just sums up the whole thing perfectly. It's this constant trade-off, a tug of war between what's fast for the machine and what's easy for the developer. And it's right there, in the complexity of that choice, that security flaws love to hide. So this leads us to two completely different philosophies on how to deal with these security risks. Do you want to be a detective hunting for flaws after the code is already written? Or do you want to be an architect and design something that's perfect from the very beginning?
All right, so the detective approach is reactive. It's all about forensics. The code's already built, so now you're scanning it, looking for clues, trying to pinpoint those potential weak spots where an attacker might be able to get in.
And this is pretty much what that looks like in practice. You have these tools, like this one called Object Map, that are basically digital detectives. They automatically probe the code looking for those weak spots. And you can see right here in the output, it flagged one parameter as vulnerable. For a developer, that's the smoking gun.
Now, the architect approach is completely different. The architect isn't trying to find mistakes, they're trying to eliminate the possibility of mistakes ever existing in the first place. This is done through an incredible process called formal verification, where you use pure mathematics to prove that your code will behave exactly as you intended it to.
And the level of rigor here is just staggering. To verify just one communication protocol, a tool might check over 327,000 of these verification conditions. Each one of those is like a tiny, individual mathematical proof, making sure the code is safe from errors. It's like having an inspector check every single brick and joint in a skyscraper before it's even built.
So where does this architect approach, this mathematical certainty, go from being a nice idea to an absolute necessity?
Well, let's go to a place where you can't just push a software update if something goes wrong. Deep space. When you're talking to a satellite millions of miles away, the code that's translating that data just cannot fail. The cost of a single bug is way, way too high.
Now, verified code isn't just a simple yes or no. There are actually levels of trust. A basic level might just guarantee your code is written correctly and won't crash. But the highest level, that's the ultimate promise. It proves that the decoding process is a perfect reversal of the encoding process. The message received is mathematically proven to be identical to the message sent, every single time.
And this isn't some far-off future concept. This is happening right now. The European Space Agency absolutely relies on this level of rigor. They have a standard called PUC for all of their missions, and they automatically generate their communication code from a formal blueprint to make sure it's as reliable as is mathematically possible.
Which brings us right back home to one last critical question. From our banking systems to our missions to other planets, our world runs on this hidden language. We know the detective can find flaws, but the architect can actually prevent them. So we really have to ask ourselves, for the systems that truly matter, when does good enough security stop being good enough? When do we need to stop just hunting for bugs and start demanding mathematical proof?